What's going on, all you minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today, join me for my overview of the Summertime Rendering Volumes 1, 2, and 3 from Udon Entertainment. So, let's get started. Before going any further, I do want to thank the folks at Udon Entertainment for sending us copies of these volumes. All of these volumes are due out in the direct market and book market on May 31st or June 1st, depending on where you get your books. What's interesting about this release is that there's also going to be a hardcover of each of these. And those have a smaller print run for those collectors out there, just in case. Soft covers, on the other hand, have a bigger print run. And that's what we're looking at right here. But everything else is exactly the same. We're looking at volumes 1, 2, and 3. And I believe this is only 6 volumes. Volumes 4, 5, and 6 will come out sometime in August as of this video. But this is Summertime Rendering. And I'll be honest with you, when I was doing my upcoming collected editions video that I do every month, I saw the title and I read Summertime Reading. And I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to start the summer off with. And even though it's still spring here in America. Yeah. So when I open it up, I'm like, this isn't Summertime Reading. I'm an idiot. So yes, this is Summertime Rendering. But it does feel like a good summertime story. As a matter of fact, I read all 3 volumes between yesterday and today. Outside, it was really sunny. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started looking at volume 1. But before I do, I did want to look at what they will look like on your shelf, like the spines right here, featuring these 3 main characters. So you have Udon Entertainment logo up there, Summertime Rendering, the character, Yasuki Tanaka, who is the creator of the manga, and then what volume numbers you're looking at. And then, of course, the backs of each of the books, volumes 1, 2, and 3. By the way, the hardcovers are $24.99 and the softcovers are $19.99. They are rated mature readers, and that mainly has to do with the violence, and there is some nudity in here, but let's go ahead and crack open volume 1, we'll look at the artwork of each of them, and talk about the premise of the story without going too much into spoilers, because this was a lot of fun to read. Alright, let's get volume 1 opened. Again, these read from the traditional right to left format. Here is a little introduction by the creator, Yasuki Tanaka, and there are some colored pages towards the very beginning of this volume, and of course it goes back into the black and white. Now it all starts off in this dream sequence of the main character here, Shinpei Ajito. We'll just call him Shin from now on because everybody else does, and he is dreaming of his childhood friend Ushio, and Ushio is asking him to help her. To find Mio and protect her. Then he wakes up. And he wakes up in the bosom of this young lady right here, who is not a main character as of yet, but I'm sure you may have noticed that in Volume 2, she's on the cover. And we will talk a little bit more about Hizuru here in a little bit, but she's not really a main character as of the beginning here. So the story focuses on Shin, and he's visiting the island where he grew up. And this is the Island of Hitogashima. Now, the interesting thing about this, and I actually learned this through anime many years ago, when anime was dubbed into English, some people that lived in islands had like a Southern American accent, and I always wondered why. So apparently, the dialect and the accent is very different in a lot of these islands, and they compare it to like a Southern accent in America, and that's probably the best comparison for us that live here. So that's what you're going to notice here. You're going to notice the way that this is written, the dialogue is written, and right away, just about everybody, with the exception of Shin, who's been living in Tokyo, talks like this. So it takes place on July 22nd, which becomes a very important date. So Shin comes back here because he is unfortunately going to the funeral of Ushio, who you just met at the very beginning, who's this really pretty blonde girl. And turns out, the more you read this, they were childhood friends. This is Mio, her younger sister, that had a little bit of the fan service right there, so you're going to find some of that in here. Not very much, but it is actually part of the story. But that's where he comes to the island. He's been living in Tokyo, Japan. But even though he's living in Tokyo now, he comes from this island. He was raised by Ushio and Mio's father, Alan, or Elaine, sometimes as spelled in here. And he grew up here because his parents died in a car accident when he was very young. And actually, matter of fact, it explains it here. And he lived with them. So they're more like family than they are childhood friends, Mio and Ushio. And to find out that Ushio died brought him back after being gone for a few years. So even his accent is a little bit different than compared to what people in Tokyo sound like. So here he's trying to find out exactly what happened to his friend, and it turns out that she died. She drowned saving a young girl from this particular island. So he is reunited with childhood friends. He's reunited with people that he knew in school. But then something interesting happens, especially when he's reunited by his friend right here. This is, oh my goodness, what is his name? Hishigata is his last name, but I think So is how you pronounce his first name. So lets him know that the police found, like, markings on her neck, and it seemed like she was strangled to death. So it's this whole mystery. So I'll be honest, I had no idea what to expect from this cover, jumping into the story. I didn't expect a Twilight Zone type of story. I didn't even know it was horror related. I just thought it was kind of like based on this, like a bittersweet love story between two people. But at the very beginning, you find out that she's dead and he's dreaming of her. Let me just skip here, because there is something interesting. The big selling point to this particular story happens right towards the first act. So this isn't a spoiler, but just in case, if you don't want to know anything, put me on mute, and by all means, just keep checking out the artwork. But the pitch of this is freaking awesome. All right, so for those people that don't care about spoilers or already know the concept of this, I think it's even written on the back. I don't know. I never really read the back of these things because I don't want anything going into the stories. But the pitch of this is that Shin dies, and he gets shot, and he wakes up again, and it's July 22nd. And when he wakes up on July 22nd, it's like he is back on the ferry again, crossing over to the island. He's burying his head in the bosom of this young lady here, who we don't know yet. This is Hizuru. And it's like it's redoing it over again. And he keeps getting killed. Something is happening on this island that is making him die. I'm not going to reveal how exactly he's being killed or who's doing it or why. But every time he wakes up further on throughout the day of July 22nd. So if the people have died already in the previous hour of him waking up, then he can't save them. So he is bound and determined to save the people he can and hold his promise to Ushio to save Mio, her little sister. And there's a whole prophecy of the shadow effect, or shadow sickness rather, that you hear about in Volume 1. Now, by the time Volume 2 comes out, or when you're reading this, Hizuru she's a big leading character. As a matter of fact, the first third of this particular volume has nothing but a lot of the Hizuru stories and her connection to a lot of the people on the island, what she's trying to figure out, what brought her back to the island, because she's originally from here, and if she has any connection to our main characters, Shin, Ushio, or Mio. And man, it just keeps going further and further into maybe a conspiracy, supernatural elements. Let's look at Volume 3. By the way, these are all, at least the soft covers are glued binding. So just in case, I'm not sure about the hardcovers. They very well could be sewn binding, but I don't know. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought I was getting something completely different than what I ended up getting. Now, we're going to look at Volume 3, and then we're going to look at some of the extras. So Volume 3 has a character on the front cover that I can't reveal who it is, and actually I can't show too many pictures from here, but I'm just going to show some from this particular volume right here. I'm not going to show very many pictures from this volume, just some of them, because, you know, by the time you get to Volume 3, there are some spoilers. But I love the whole mystery as to what exactly is going on. Is it supernatural? Are there really shadow people? And what exactly is Shin? Is he a time traveler? How does he keep going back? So this feels like, yeah, it feels like the classic Groundhog Day, House and Powers of X, or the, oh my goodness, what is that movie that they made in America? Can't remember the manga name. Edge of Tomorrow, but I can't remember what the manga was called. My wife ended up reading it, and she really loved it. All You Need Is Kill. Stories like that, where you have a protagonist that is reliving the same day over and over. But in this, he's reliving the same day over and over, but the more he gets killed, the less time he has to save the people that he loves. Can he go back and save Ushio? All those questions, man. And who is this young lady? Is this a flashback, or is this him traveling back in time? I ended up loving this series. I can't wait to read the second act, which I guess will be volumes 4, 5, and 6 when they come out later this year. The paper quality on this is this matte paper. So I don't know if the hardcovers will have glossy pages or not. The books themselves, they go anywhere from 352 pages all the way to almost 400 pages. On the back is the cover, actually, that folds out, and on the opposite side of the cover is some beautiful color artwork. There are wonderful memos in here. So if you're here, actually, we got to do this. We got to look at volume 2 really quick. So if you're a dork like me, that's like, okay, I got to keep tabs on how many times he's traveled back, what time he went back, what he's done. If you like that, hey, you don't even have to write that stuff down because it's in here. There's memos in here of Shin's journey. So this is all Shin's journey in here. This is freaking awesome, and it's detailed. It tells you how many times he's gone back, what he's able to do, and who he might be able to save. So, in the end, I really enjoyed these. These were a nice, pleasant surprise for me this summer, kicking it off. And I know there's an anime. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but highly recommend picking this up. It just came out, whether you get it in softcover or in hardcover format, 100% worth getting. That is Summertime Rendering, and that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing any of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my overview for the volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Summertime Rendering. Let me know in the comments down below if this particular title interests you, if you're picking it up, if you're going to go the softcover route, if you're going to get the hardcovers. And if you've never heard of it, let me know if this was your introduction to this particular series. I happen to enjoy these. I thought these were awesome, and I can't wait for the final 3 volumes, which again, I think come out in August. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Comments, leave them down below. Check us out on Patreon and Spreadshop. All of that information is in the description of this video. And more importantly, everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.